What's up, guys? It's been a while. It's hard getting people to talk to. Anyway, welcome to CESYK Live. We're back at it. Today we got a really cool guest. I'm really excited about this one. So if you watch the page at all, you know of David Contreras. Mud Money, hashtag Mud Money, hashtag Mud Money. This dude's putting down some amazing work. I'm talking like when you see a floor, you know, it's got a nice shine on it. I'm talking this is the shine with no sealer. And it's not like that, feathered, burnt look. I've heard it called marbleized. I'm talking this is like one solid color. That's what the kind of stuff this guy's doing. And I'm excited to pick his brain. We're going to get him in here. Let me bear with me, guys. And this is always the worst part where you get a look down my nostrils. See if we can bring Dave in here. Anyway, David Contreras. I met him at the World of Concrete. Great dude. Well, every time we do this, it's like we're learning how to do it for the first time. Let's see. Because they always do things different, it seems like. They put buttons in different places. Well, I'm not seeing you in here, Dave. Well, let's try a different route then. Let me see. If you're in here, Dave, send a request to join the broadcast. Anyway, guys, we got some good coming up. Who's going to the World of Concrete? This will be my first year ever going, so I'm pretty excited about that. So if you're going to the World of Concrete, make sure you say hey. If you got some concrete everything gear, make sure you wear that, rep that out. I'm not finding Dave in here. Uh-oh, maybe. There we go. All right. Let's see if we can get him in here. Let's add him in here. Going to get the Deco Creek guys. And then after that, we got the Decorative Concrete Expo that Deco Creek puts on. Check that out in Ohio. That's going to be a good thing. So if you see me there, hop in, check it out. Let's see, it says it's bringing him on here. I'm not seeing him just yet.
Can you see me, Rocky?
I can hear you.
Oh, I can. Oh. What the heck? Now we're frozen. Huh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Damn.
This is always the worst part.
We'll work it out. We'll figure it out. I wonder if I get off Wi-Fi.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't see you. But we don't need to see you. We see your work. So
I appreciate it. I'm trying to figure it out on my end too. Oh,
yeah,
what's going
sure.
on?
Just kind of look around there. If there's an option for a camera or
Yeah, it said join live with a camera. I pushed camera and I can see my
oh,
picture.
I think I accidentally invited somebody else. This is horrible. Travis just declined that. I invited Travis St. Clair, although that would be a good podcast to check out too.
Yeah,
Travis is an awesome dude. He's got a lot of knowledge. But anyway, so CESYK Live. I'm Rocky France. So where was I? What was I talking about? World of Concrete. Oh,
yes.
Good. Okay. World of Concrete. Are you going to be there for that?
Yes, yep. I already got everything
Awesome.
booked. Me and my brother are going. Can't wait. It'll be the second time going, and we always hit Deco Creek as well because since it's in Ohio, we're in Ohio, so we're really excited about it.
That's
Such
always
a good
time, right?
It is just to meet faces, to meet everybody that you talk online, and then just to network and try to you come across good guys and you try to pick their brain face to face and Yeah, it's a good
Yep.
time. Yeah, last year was my first time going, and I was blown away by it. I
Yep.
really was. I like a kid in Christmas morning. I was I was
Actually,
smiling.
it was my first time too, so I was the same way. I was like,
It-
"What is this?" I've never been to the World of Concrete, so this coming year will be my first time for that too. So I'm
yeah,
excited.
no, I can't wait. Yeah, we booked soon as we got the emails that we can open. They're open up booking and all that. We hurried up and booked, and yeah, it was a good time. It was definitely a good time. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so David Contreras, Mr. Mud Money, right? So where's that come from? Hashtag Mud Money. Let's talk about that real quick.
Well, Mud Money, it honestly, it just popped in my head. I had like 4 or 5 different like names I wanted to come up with, and then my brothers from another mother, I sent a mass group text. I said, "What name do you guys like here?" And they all came back with Mud Money. And then I had an apprentice I was working with, and he always called me Mister and Sir. And I said, "Dude, you can just call me David." Finally, he goes, Mud Money sound better with Mr. Mud Money because he always poke fun.
Yeah,
He goes, "You're old anyways." I'm like, "Thanks, buddy. Thanks." so,
yeah,
so we went
yep,
with
yep.
Mr.
So
Mud Money.
Mr. Mud Money, I love it. So the actual name of the company you work for, I'll get it wrong. So you just say it.
Well, okay, so I have my side business is Chainman Concrete. That's my side business, but I actually the big floors you see on online is actually I work for the biggest contractor in our area, Rudolph Libby,
Okay.
and I've worked for them over 20 years. And then I never had an opportunity. I always had opportunities to go on my own. I just never did. Something seemed like it always happened. And I've had plenty of people, well, there's never really a good time to start business. And I totally understood that, but my heart, something always, was never feeling right. Like, one time I remember that I was going to go on my own. My dad got really sick, ended up passing away from cancer. So I just turned my focus. I made a decision, focus on my family, take care of my mom, between my brothers, my sister, um, e- uh, making sure everything is okay. And then I was like, well, you know what? I'd do it later. And then I just kept working and taking care of the family, and then yeah, we just got that, and then all of a sudden, social media popped up, and I was like, I see a lot of residential, but
Yeah.
no real commercial. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try. And my wife's teasing me like, you should try it. I'm like, I'm goofy anyways. I can do this. So I was like, let's try it. So then that's one
Yeah.
thing led to another, and that's when I started. But yeah, I've been in concrete now since 90. Well, I started in 92, 1992, 16 years old, helping a buddy's dad out block lane while I was a tender. And I realized that I didn't want to be a tender because bricklayers are very moody. They're
Yes. Yeah.
I was
I've
like,
been
I
there.
don't
I've been
like
a tender.
you,
I know what you
you
mean.
know what, I try to be polite because I ain't trying to make
That's the
nobody
best way
mad.
to put it. You think concrete guys are harsh? Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
why
Go be
my
a
block?
tender for a block layer or a bricklayer. Yeah.
Yeah. My block's
Yep.
too far. My block's backwards. My mud's too wet. My mud's too dry. Why are you
Yep.
taking so long? Oh my goodness. So, I did that for a little bit, and then I remember I was 17, right about ready to graduate, and we did a job on a Saturday, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever, raking concrete, which I had no idea what I was doing, but I remember looking over and watching the finisher sitting there, and I remember asking my boss, "What do those guys do?" They're just sitting there. Oh, those are the finishers. They're gonna stay and get the concrete finished. And I was like, as I'm being the grunt, I'm like, now that's what I want to do right there. I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, yeah. And here we are, 30 years later,
Yep.
32 years
Yep.
later. So, but
So
yeah, I just,
one of my best friends, his business, his slogan was "blue collar rock stars," and I've always thought that about the concrete guys. It's always like they're the rock stars of the group. It seemed like it from the other trades. Anyway, as a
yeah.
concrete guy, it seemed that way.
Oh
So
yeah, no, I agree. I mean, and it's funny, it's because I was telling the young apprentices that we have, you know, he goes, I remember the one kid, he goes, man, it seems like the superintendent seems like always have like grumpy towards us. I'm like, because they don't like us. They can't
yep.
control us. We're as one superintendent got mad like a couple years ago, and he's a great guy, but he just got mad at us because the concrete tells us when we're done, and he was getting
That's it.
frustrated, and he was like, "You guys are a necessary evil." I said, "Thank you." I said, "That's."
I love that. I love it.
I was like, I say, buddy, I said, we can't tell you when we're going to be done. It's it's Northwest Ohio. It's cold. I didn't want to pour this, but we had to get it done. We got to meet schedule,
Yep.
and he just like because I told the kid, I said, see, they can't control us, but it's because the concrete controls us. We got to finish the
That's it.
concrete, and yeah,
There's only
so
one controller, and that's that stuff on the ground right there, that gray gold.
yeah, and we take priority every
Yep.
time we show up on a job. We take priority, and
Yep.
it's we've been on big projects where they've had meetings, pre-job meetings, and when the concrete trucks show up, they have priority. They have priority of the everything. Get out of their way.
Yep.
And people, other trades hate it, but it's like, we're only here for a little
I
bit. You
like
guys
it.
can, you guys can have it back when But then they don't mind the floors when we get them done. They're like, hey, okay, okay.
Sure.
But
Yep. And
yeah,
that's until then, they're like, when are you going to get the floor in? When are you going to get the floor? And we
y-
need something to do our carts around on.
yeah, exactly, and that's
Yeah.
I don't know. That part of it always was cool about it because we coming in and all of a sudden we're like you said, rock stars coming in and like, oh,
Yep.
the finishers, oh, the concrete crew's here, the finishers are here. And then
Yep.
you
Yep.
pour it all out at once, and they're just like, damn, and we move on, we
Whoa.
go to the next one, yeah. So, and then so it's a hell of a ride. It's been fun, and it's been fun to be social media, just to show people that it's more than just sidewalks and garages,
Yep.
and it's nothing wrong with that. But there's just so many
Sure.
levels to this concrete world that people, because you meet most people, oh, you pour sidewalk. Well, yeah, I
Right.
do, but it's usually like 500 feet long. That's
Right.
not
Right.
10. But then they watch my videos and what are those whirly birds and all that and
Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah. So it's fun. It's been a hell of a ride. And lately, last so many years, probably since 2018, we've just been really training the younger guys and trying to get guys interested in pouring concrete because like
That's it.
everyone, it's tough to find guys right now. I mean, it's we've been recruiting, gearing up for next year, trying to find planning. My bosses talked to them today, and he was just like, we might be booked next year, solid, and might need guys, but it's hard to get guys to have plenty of guys from out of town wanting to come up, but it's local companies, so nobody pays per diem here because we all live here. So it's like,
Mhm. Yep.
guys, I don't want to have ask you to relocate and it doesn't work out, and it's hard.
Yep.
It's very hard. So,
Yep.
but yeah,
I will
it's
say
been
something that somebody told me and it kind of stuck. He said, take some business cards and a wrestling room and give them to all the seniors.
yeah,
That
yes,
did you wrestle or anybody in your
yes.
family wrestle?
I wrestled and I was an average wrestler, but I loved that sport so much that
See?
I once I hit a certain age, at a certain point in my life, realizing I'm not going to be a state champion.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just an average wrestler, but I always wanted just to be a good partner, a good wrestler. I mean,
Yeah.
I had that drive because we grew up farmers, and
Mhm.
so we have a Heinz plant here in town, and it's the biggest Heinz processing plant where it was at one time, and
Okay.
we grew tomatoes and cucumbers, so it was very labor intensive, and
Yeah.
Dad, we'd have people come up, that would come up every year and work, but then we were always short on help. And Dad, there's five of us, and Dad would look over at us, look at the field, look at us, yeah, come here. So we would go to work, it was like, okay, whatever. And that work ethic that my dad instilled on us, and I took that into the wrestling room, and it was just like, this is tough, but I can do it. And then once I got into concrete, that mentality just, yeah, it just transferred over to
Yep.
concrete. Yeah, it's just like the guys would be complaining. I'm like, we called it the hot box. This just reminds me of our
This ain't
hot
even
box
anything,
wrestling.
man. Actually,
Yeah.
if I'm sweating this good, I feel like I'm doing something right because
Y-
it's when I
Yes,
stop sweating in wrestling, it's bad. Man, I got nothing left to cut.
I have nothing left. Oh yeah, and that was me because I could never beat the one. I always had to lose 10. Now they monitor the weight loss very carefully.
Right.
Back when I wrestled, they're like, you can't wrestle here, but if you go up here or you lose, I would have to drop every week because I couldn't beat the
Hmm.
45. I weighed 50, and I couldn't beat the 52, so I dropped down to 40. And I would
Yeah.
just to wrestle. I didn't give a. I was like, I don't care if I get beat. I just wanted to wrestle, and
Yeah.
uh, and it was so much fun. But yeah, my both my boys wrestled, and again, we're just always average. They loved it. My youngest didn't like it. My oldest was like me, just loved the sport. And then yeah, so we just now my oldest works with us, and Yeah, just trying to
See, I think the
he's
glory of that gets lost. The glory of that mentality in all sports, but especially wrestling. The glory of just loving loving the combat, loving the Saturday mornings and the time in the gym, and just loving the atmosphere and that part of it. Everybody gets caught on the state champions and the podium and all this, but I think there needs to be more of a highlight just on that idea, because even as a parent, spending the time at first you're like, oh,
yeah.
Saturday morning. But then you
Yeah.
get there and you're like, man, I love this. Yeah, I'm getting a hot dog, man. And at the end of the season, you're like, oh, I need a break. I'm over it. But it's 3 weeks after the end of the season, you're like, man, I'm missing some wrestling. So
Then exactly, and that's basically
it's
what
just the love of that atmosphere.
it's absolutely right. It was just the drive and that love, and then when I got older, a buddy of mine started a wrestling club, and he asked me to help. I'm like, I'm going to help as long as I can because of my work schedule, and we did it. I did it for 3 seasons, and that was so much fun just to teach and show these kids what it's all about, and a lot of the kids to this day, I mean, I get invited to the graduation. That was, man, 20, that was 15 years ago. And I see him, hey, coach. I said, just like, man, to me, it's like you have enough respect for me that you still call me coach. Not, it's like, and just to show these kids are very, very well respected. I mean, I remember walking into the local high school for a wrestling match, and they were goofing off. And soon they saw me, they just stop. They're like, "Hey, coach." I'm like, "You all right, guys?" "Yep, yeah, we're gonna go sit down." I'm like, "Hey, you guys can do whatever you want. Just be careful." They're like, "No, we're gonna go sit
Yeah.
down." I'm like, "Okay." It's like, but it was cool because they saw me and they're like, "Oh shit, coach is here." I was like, "I'm not your
Yeah.
coach, but it's okay. It's cool."
You've instilled that respect and you'll always have that title. So yeah.
Yeah, so that was fun. That's kind of
Yep.
neat, and that's how we
That's
that's how
cool.
we approach the apprentices. Just to show them like, hey, I may bark at you, I may be hard on you, I won't degrade you, and I want to teach you this trade because that's what I was telling a kid today. I had a first year apprentice, and he was just like, telling him how when it was when I was an apprentice. I said, you had to keep your head down and work because they would just get rid of you because back then there was abundance of workers and not enough work.
Yep.
Now it's the other way around. And so I can't. Am I hard on you? Yeah, but I'm trying to make you mentally tougher. But at the
Yep.
same time, I'm not degrading you, but I want to show you that you got to be able to deal under pressure. And
Yeah.
this concrete waits on nobody, and you have to be able to adjust. And that's the hardest right now because a lot of these younger guys, they wear their heart on their sleeve, and they can
Mhm.
get really, you know, butthurt. And it's like, keep going. And then at the end of the day,
Keep going. Man.
I make it a point to circle back. Hey, we had a good day. You all right? And they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So listen,
Yeah.
you did great, but you gotta, you gotta do this different, gotta do this different. And then we work them up. And then like all those guys on the videos that run on the machines, I've had the pleasure of all training them, me and my brother Albert and some
Man,
other
you're
guys,
doing
but
something
it's,
right. And these are all guys that you've trained from nothing?
yeah,
Man,
pretty much. Yeah. Although
that's
I'm trying to think.
that's a feather in your hat, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see because now, I mean, I can just pretty much I'll pan most of the time, and so will my brother. But then my son will pan, and my nephew will pan, and then me and my brother just kind of like to us, like I'll seal to keep an eye on him, or my brother will burn to keep an eye
Mhm.
on everybody because he's the original OG of everybody because he's the one that got me in and trained me, and he's my go-to when I got a question, and so I always like
Okay.
having him on my side, and but. So he'll just sit back when he pans, he does a great job, and then he's always a teacher. And we do a lot of good cop, bad cop a lot. So because he's very passionate, very aggressive, and I'm just like see him getting their guys are being getting beat, beating themselves down. I'm like, you guys are doing good, man. You just got to relax, just listen to the words, not the
Yep.
tone. He's barking, but he's just trying to teach you. It's you
Yep.
got to listen to the words, and they're like, okay, now they're just we get all the guys together on one crew. My boss tries to once in a while get everybody on this, but on one crew, and when he does, it's just so much fun to watch because you don't even have to say anything, and it's like, man, this is cool. This is
That's the
absolutely cool,
best.
man.
My
It's just,
dad, my old man would always say, you can tell a lot about a crew by what's not said during the pour.
oh, I like that. Yeah, he's
Yep.
right.
Yep.
He's absolutely right,
Yep.
because that's what we when we go to new jobs and other trades see us and always, oh man, I remember my dad would be on, or my uncles or my cousins were on a crew, and all they do is scream from the time we get there. You guys don't say anything. We're like, even when I do side jobs on my side business, and they're just like, you guys just didn't say two words, or like we don't pretty much talked about what everybody's doing. I'm gonna
Yep.
run the magic creed, and someone's run the check
Yep.
rod. My brother's taking shots, and yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
What's
So
for
let's talk
breakfast?
about the process a little bit. You're mentioning, you're kind of dropping in some hints in here. So let's talk about your process, because the quality of work you guys are putting out is, I'm saying it's some of the best in the world, and I'm not even joking when I say that. So
Thank you, thank you.
definitely, I want to pick your brain on this. So obviously, you're panning, your brother's panning, so that's very important. Panning, the pan man is one of the crucial dudes on the crew, right?
Yes, the Pan Man, as we tell everybody, sets the tone. The Pan Man's
Yep.
behind, everybody's behind, and so that's where we really push everybody. That's the goal. That's the top of the food chain, is the Pan Man,
Yep.
and we pretty much try to tell everybody. We give everybody, normally, like I will lead. Say my brother leads out. He leads out, and we got a guy that's close. We'll put him on the second pan. So then I would drop down to the seal machine. So then now we got two guys watching the greenhorn pan guy to show him
Uh-huh.
what we're looking for.
He's right in the middle of you guys. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yes. So, but if he's not, but if he's not ready, and we normally stick our least experienced guy on the seal machine.
Yeah.
We always keep somebody behind them that's good, and somebody in front of you that's good, and then we just try to just work them in, and then like we run a lot of Whitemans, so right away it's 8 to 10 turns when you're sealing, and then that's going to get you in that ballpark on the blade pitch, and then basically we always tell them, if you got to go down 2 turns, you're too wet. If you got to go up 2 turns, you're more than 2 turns, you're too late. So you're working on, so they get an idea on their timing,
Yep.
because we preach that timing a lot, because you see a lot of guys online where their timing is so off. They have everything's there, all the pieces are there, but the timing's so wrong that they're, next thing you know, you're spinning and everything and throwing water. And we we had a guy ask me from we went up to another office up in over in Cleveland. He goes, you don't have your water on your machines hooked up. I said, no, our mechanic unhooks them because it froze one year and it broke, because they store them out in a cold storage. And so he just unplugged them. He goes, you guys don't use water? Well, we try not to. I mean, once in a while, and we
Sure.
you get a bucket of, you get a bottle of water, or you take a drink and you kind of spit it out, and you just got to but we try
Yep.
not to rely on that. I mean, we just
Right.
try to just stay. Timing is everything. Timing, and so yeah, that's what we generally do. Is the pan man sets the tone. He's the one that he's the pace setter, and then so
So
then
you
we
guys
just
are
kind of
panning. So what size machine do you pan with? So let's
we
talk about that a little bit.
okay,
Machine sizing and
yeah.
where it comes into play in the lineup.
So generally on our bigger floors, we generally run 10 footers. We strictly run 10 foot pans, and just because it's just you can get a tighter floor. A lot of people pan with eights, and we do too on our smaller floors, but we generally run with 10 footers. Then our
Okay.
8 footer, and then our seal machines usually an 8 footer, and then our burr machines an 8 footer, and then our poly blades an 8 footer. So we'll run two tens.
Now,
So
what
on our
about
bigger floors.
heaviness in those machines? Like the 8 footers, your steel machine compared to your finish
Oh
machine.
yeah, well no. So generally so a seal machine is usually just a regular hydro, 8 foot hydro. Um, Me being old school, I like a mechanical machine, a stick machine, because
Yeah.
I like I tell the kids, I can feel it in the handles. I can watch, I can see what the floor is doing. I can sputter my gas, because generally hydro, it's all or nothing on a throttle. You just got to
Right.
go. Where a stick machine, you can just, I can sputter. Like when I turn on a stick machine, I don't turn hard. I'll sputter my gas and just let the machine kind of like naturally I just gently turn my handles, and they
Yep.
generally slightly turn, because a lot of times people turn too hard, and if you're dealing with numbers, you can throw what we call them a knot, build up
Yep.
material, and you can affect your numbers. So I like a stick machine, but the younger generation, they just like the cruise control, and they just whatever. So but So generally, our seal machines are going to be either the same. All the seal, burn, and poly are going to be all the same hydros, so they're all the same weight. Um, or if I run a stick machine, I will push. I will push the pan man a little more because I'm so much lighter than that 10-footer. I mean, a lot lighter. So again, it all depends on the situation. If we're outside, I'll run all hydros because it's usually hotter
Right.
outside. But if we're inside, I'll just see what's available and what the yard sends us, and yeah. So
Yep.
that's
Yep.
we
So you
run.
guys so you hit the pan with the 10-footer. How are you crossing and then the third diagonal and then when you
So
do check route?
so what we normally do, we'll get a feel for it. We'll run opposite of the laser screen. And then when we turn, we generally just turn. We like long runs. We'll cross short ways, but we like long runs. We feel we get better numbers that way. We generally don't. Once my brother will pan, if we are checking rod or scraping it, we will. We never bull float behind. Very very rarely we'll bull float behind a laser screed. We don't bull float at all. We just put it in, and then once he starts panning, he'll go with the pan opposite of the laser screen, and then he'll go long ways, and then he'll just consistently stay long ways. He will cross maybe once, but then set the pace, just pushing the floor long ways, and then the second pan would do a little bit of crossing, but then he'll set the end up going long ways. If we do scrape, it's usually a light scrape just to check. A lot of times we scrape just to tie the floor together because you get the
Okay.
spotty loads where you're running
Yep.
two plants. They're
Yep.
they're batched different, so we'll scrape with a 12-footer, and it's generally not to get our F. A lot of people are, oh, you're trying to get them high FFs, and it's like, no, we're just trying to tie the floor together. I'm going through it all, trying to move the material around, take the top off the wet spot, let it breathe, because you're ripping it open, trying to get that wet to catch up to the everything else. So we
Yep.
call it a light scrape, and then let it air up, and then that second panel grind it in, and then so everything we go long ways. I noticed not many people do online. It's just the way we are taught to go
Yep.
long ways because if you had a wet spot, you have a way to get back to it. Which
Yeah.
everybody has their own way, and there's nothing wrong, but that's how we always do it. We just try to go long at all times.
Well,
That
you guys
way,
are hitting good numbers, so
yeah, yeah. We're
must be
generally
good.
Yeah, generally we're in the 70s on average, and we have our bad days, but 70s to 90s, and we're pretty consistent in between those numbers, and then yeah, just trying to get the guys to understand them, and it all starts with the laser screed and the form work and all that. So, but yeah, then
Yep.
we run a lot of polys. That's what
Yeah.
we love the polys because of them spotty loads. We run the poly blades, and that's been the neatest part is showing people that you can get a nice floor with some polys, but people, if you ever read the comments, you get a lot of I just like, okay, because it's concrete guys, everyone has an opinion, and it's cool. I don't
Sure.
mind. But
Yeah.
it's just like, okay, I usually just say, okay, because that's their opinion. And
What are you gonna do? You gotta let them go.
yeah, they got to get off some steam,
So on your floors, the color of your floors. This is a conversation I've had with a lot of finishers that I've worked with over the years, and a lot of garage smaller barn floor guys are probably going to be really mad at me right now. But when you get that, I call it a feathered look. It looks like a black feather. You know what
like
I'm
a
talking
like
about?
yeah, like a marbled look. It almost looks like from a distance, like it's stamped. I
Yes.
mean, yes.
This is bad, right? This is not a flat floor, right?
Well, it's not so much what it is it may be flat, but the problem is that we call it flat blading. So they have their blades too flat, and that's why you'll hear me say we adjust to the floor. So as the floor is setting up, you should be cranking your blades up. Now, obviously, with finished blades, it's a little bit of different approach. We don't run a lot of finished blades. We do, and we have started, but we run a lot of combos. So, and if you're running the garage floor and you're running it in, and you never change the blade pitch, what it is that cream's dry, and you're just smearing that cream until it's burned off, and you're not cleaning it. We call it, you got to have a clean floor. So if you're machining and you let it air up too long, you're not gonna, because a lot of people they'll either never adjust their blades, or they never their timing's off. They let it air up too
Yeah.
long, or they just get behind. But that's what
Yeah.
we just teach them 15-minute intervals. We start everybody out at 15 minutes. Run the floor in 15 minutes, wait 15 minutes, and then run it again. If it's changed a little bit, cool. If it hasn't, give it 5 more minutes. But
Yeah.
if you're outside, 10 minutes. Run it in 10 minutes later, take a look at it. If it feels the same, or run it in. And that's when I've helped a lot of people on the side, and they always seem to get in trouble where they don't adjust their blades. And that's where the marble look is, because they're not so much, they're just smearing that top. They're not
Yeah.
grinding, they're not burning off the material, working that material in. And that's why they end
Yep.
up throwing water, splashing water, to try to get that to shine, where all they have to do is just
Mhm.
adjust their blades. That's why we like the quick pitch, because of, that's,
Yep.
I won't get anything with, I cannot stand the twist knob. Some people like them, and that's their prerogative, but I like a quick pitch, because as you hit
Yeah.
something tight, you can cut it in, lower it back
Mix and
down. Yeah,
such.
you're sitting there,
Back
you're
and
like,
forth.
okay, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Okay, okay, now I go back down. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
You're just like, son of a
Definitely.
bitch. I haven't moved.
So how old are you?
What's that?
How old are you?
I am going to be 50 next month.
And you got how many kids?
I have two boys. I have a
Two boys.
29-year-old and a 22-year-old.
And
Yep.
they're both in concrete too.
Just my oldest. My youngest helps me on the
Okay.
side work, but he's my welder. He's like, yeah, I'm
Oh,
just gonna weld. And I say, you know what? It's great, because he helps me out. I said, son, because I
yeah.
can weld, but I consider myself a grinder, because I keep a grinder next to me. That's and he's like, look, say, who did that? And you know what's in it?
Yeah.
It's holding. Okay, just fix it, please.
Yeah.
So,
It's good. You need that though. As a concrete guy, we need welders. So
oh
we're
yeah.
always breaking stuff.
Always, always. And
Yeah.
so so that's what I told him. I said, he made his decision. I don't want to go to college. I said, that's cool. It's not for everybody, but you have to find something to do. And I never forget, I said, he goes, well, I'll think about it. I'm like, no, it's like this. You figure out what to want to do, or you're going to work with me. He's like, okay, I kid you not. Rocky came in like 2 days later with a pamphlet. I'm going to tech school. I'm like, good, good,
Perfect.
good. Perfect. What are you going to do? I'm going to weld. Awesome. Because my dad was a welder by trade. Now he's like, I want to do what
Okay.
grandpa did. I said, awesome.
Well,
You
that's
do
good.
that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
he loves it. And I
Cool.
love it, because it's fun to see him do something, weld something.
Yeah.
He's like, that's pretty cool. Then he helps me on the side, and yeah. I think
Yep.
he'd like to do it, but he just doesn't want to deal with. He's like, yeah, this is too intense, Dad. I don't.
Yeah.
He's real passive. He's very passive. He's like,
Well, it's
yeah,
perfect. He can be in his own world and then do his own thing. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
Yep.
yeah,
Sure.
I'm 50, and I've been in since I have over. This is 30 years, I think. I don't know. It's been so long. It's just a blur.
So what's the future hold? What you just gonna keep going until
Yeah.
retirement day, or
Yep,
you?
I have 9 more years, and I can retire, and then I'm basically pacing myself. The big thing is I try to take care of myself, because obviously at 50 you can't eat like you're 40. You can't eat
Yeah.
like you're 20. Even though I
I
can.
try. I'm trying. I
Oh
got.
man,
I'm trying.
I love eating, Rocky. That's people. What do you do for a hobby? I like to eat.
I
I
like to
love
eat. I like
I,
cookies.
cheesecake is my kryptonite.
I
It's
love cheesecake.
Cheesecake, yeah. Everybody at the company knows that you say cheesecake, they're like, David's around. Yeah, it's anything sweet. And I've tried yeah. I once had a guy's sister who was starting a business up, and she started a bakery in Michigan. And he worked in Toledo with us. I said, hey, does your sister make cheesecake? He goes, let me call her. She calls her. He goes, yeah. I said, I want strawberry toppings. He goes, okay. We had a 2 a.m. pour. I packed like 6 waters, 2 Gatorades, and a fork. He came in with his 10-pound cheesecake. I sat there on my double and ate that all. I mean, yeah, there's guys that still talk about it. And we were there like 24 hours because we saw it the same day. And I remember being like midnight the next day, go, man, I don't feel good. And my buddy's like, I don't know, maybe it's the 4 cups of sugar you ate, and your body's having
Put
insulin
yourself in a
withdrawals. I don't
diabetic
know.
zone.
I was like, you could be onto something. You could be onto something. So I'm gonna get some
It
water.
might be that.
Yeah, okay, doctor, Mr. Doctor. Okay, okay. But yeah, I
Yeah,
just basically I just want to just ride this out and try to keep doing what I'm doing. Just help the young guys,
sure.
help our trade out, and
Yep.
do the social media until it doesn't seem like it's doing anything anymore.
Yeah.
I enjoy this just doing this. Meeting. It's fun. I've been meeting more
Yep.
people. I get a lot of messages on questions. I love answering questions. I do the best I can. Sometimes
Sure.
explaining things is hard because trying to explain, hey, you got to cock your blades up. It's timing, and they're like, how long you been waiting? I don't know. I'm like, okay, shit. Well, it's hard to explain sometimes, but no,
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
I'm just gonna keep riding this wave until the wave's
Good.
gone.
Good.
It's fun.
So,
It's
so I
fun.
always ask. I'm a truck junkie. What's your favorite truck? Your dream truck for the job?
Oh man, I got so much. I mean, when I ran with Baker Concrete for a little bit, if there's two truck, my work truck. If I had a work truck, it would be something with Baker Concrete used to have those F550s. All this,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, it had
Yeah.
two right. You fit a 6 foot double in there. They have a rack on top. You can throw some couple old Superiors up there. Well, nowadays
Yeah.
it's either a Bourne or an Allen, and then yeah, those trucks just you could, man, oh man, the trucks. And then if it was my driving truck, man, a nice. I've always liked Ford just because my dad. That's what we always had, and a nice
Yeah.
F-250, 8 foot bed, quad cab.
Uh-huh.
Just decked out leather. Oh
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
So
That's
in some of my travels, I got to meet a guy who was a decorative, or he owned a supply company, 515 Supply, by the way. But when I went and met him, he took me for a ride. He's got a Roush F-150, a brand new Roush.
oof,
This thing was nuts.
oof.
He says he pulls a skid steer with it sometimes, and when he takes off from the stoplight, it like just wants to spin the tires.
I can
Yeah, but
only
I'm kind of
imagine.
I like my Fords too. I drive an F-150 with the Deco Creek Crew, and it's a nice truck too. So
I bet. Oh,
yeah,
it is. It's that's what my work truck is. My personal truck's an F-150, and it just has the big V8, and it's. I just because it's a simple work model. It's all I wanted because I'm so hard on
yep,
my. I said I'll just get a work model, and it's always
sure.
fun when you get these because I dropped that hammer on that V8. It can get it. I don't like to see my gauge go down, but my fuel gauge go down,
Yeah,
but. It's just like,
yep,
yeah, so this old girl can still get it, but it's, yeah, we've just always been Ford. I
yeah.
remember as a kid, my dad had a 64 and a half Mustang, and that
Ah,
I absolutely fastback. I absolutely love that car, and
yeah,
I wish, yeah, he ended up getting rid of it, but I never told us why. Never, it was one of the things you never talked about, but he
yep.
missed it.
He
He
was
missed it.
ashamed. He was mad at
Yeah, he
himself.
missed it, but yeah, that thing was
Yep,
sharp. But
yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
would do.
Yep,
But
definitely. All right, so anything for the younger crew coming in, and we'll kind of end wrap it up on that. What some advice would you give these younger guys? Just some basic
basic,
general concrete advice.
just have thick skin. Trust the process. It doesn't happen overnight, and always if you find a good mentor. Because sometimes that's the hardest part is finding a good mentor, and always you know just a lot of times because concrete's so fast paced. I always tell everybody listen to the words, not the tone.
Yeah.
Remember, just keep pushing forward because it took me. I tell everybody you can learn this trade and you can learn the basics 4 years, but to learn this trade, to learn it. I mean, it's going to take 6 to 8 years. I tell them, and for nowadays kids like that's too long. But I tell them if you can weather the storm, there will be sunshine. I say you just have to weather the storm and just keep the faith. And because I was in like my fifth year and I was like, this is stupid. I'm not getting this. I can't. And all of a sudden one day the light bulb went off. And I remember saying that to younger guys. And he doesn't work with us anymore. But one day he was telling me, we're wiping out a floor. It was wintertime. He couldn't trowel anything. I've been working with him. And one day he's talking to me and we're talking side by side. And he's complaining. I said, Chris, he goes, yeah, you're next to me this whole time. And he just looked at me and he looked at the floor. He looked at me. He's like, holy shit, the light bulb went off. I'm like, yeah, see, this is your moment. And he just took off from there. But it takes time. Just be patient. You know, you just
Yep.
got the biggest thing is find a mentor. That's what I tell everybody. Find a good mentor because there's some bad people that just are jealous. They don't want to see anybody better than them. But if you can find a guy that just like us, we don't. I'm secure with my job. I'm good with my ability. If you're better
Yep.
than me, hallelujah, man. That's awesome. That's what I
Yeah.
want. That means
Yep.
you can go ahead and we'll hand them take over. You know, we'll help you. We'll support you. And that's hard to find. I feel just
Sure.
talking to a lot of younger guys. And yeah, good
Cool.
mentor. Just
It's
stick
good
to it
words,
and
man. Definitely good
keep an
words.
open mind. Yeah.
Yep.
So, but
Keep it in
this
mind.
is
Just keep showing up. That's one thing I always say. Just no matter what happened yesterday, just show up again in the morning because after that dude's had a cup of coffee and a sleep, he's going to be a different person tomorrow. I promise.
yeah,
It's just
and
how
that
it is.
it is, and that's what after a bad day, I tell guys, a lot of guys, okay, make sure you get home safely. Process the day. Don't just
Yeah.
go, okay, I get in my truck, I'm done. No,
Yeah.
think about it. What did I get? What did I get yelled at for? What did what was the thing that I got yelled at the most about? It's simple, and I said, and then just try to be better at that the next time, and then,
Yep.
and that's what we tell them. Process the day, and then retain the information. If I got to tell you, that's a big thing. But that's another big thing is retaining information. And
Yeah.
I'm not expecting anyone to retain it all. If I tell you 10 things, if you can remember like one or two, and then a little bit of everything else,
Right.
and then just build off that. I said, yeah, and it's fun because I'm like, what did we tell you Monday? This. Okay, what about Tuesday? This. Well, don't forget about Monday. He goes, okay, what about Wednesday? This. What about, don't forget about Monday and Tuesday. You're like, oh shit. I'm like, yeah, we're almost to Friday. They're like,
Yeah.
oh my God. I said, and then guess what? Monday we do it all over again. And it's like, so
Yeah.
it's fun to watch them grow. I mean, especially
Good.
it was frustrating at the beginning because it was because here we are just brand new teaching. And then all of a sudden, when they started just going, we're just like, wow, this is working. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right, we're in on all cylinders. So yeah, just find a good mentor and then somebody that a good support cast. I mean, like I always tell guys, reach out to me. Reach out to guys that you see the share your knowledge page. I love the page because there's
Yeah.
so many people. You got your guys that throw out some sarcasm. It's concrete talk. It is what it is.
Right.
But if you find the right guys that answer good questions, message them. I mean, just say,
Yeah.
hey, thanks for the answer. I just have you mind if I ask you another question? I mean, and I've done that a
And
couple
that's
times.
one of the things about this community. Any one of our experts, such as yourself, would be more than willing to answer any questions you
Yeah.
have. And that's what's. I mean, it's a great community around here.
Oh, it is. It's absolutely. I get on here, and a lot of times I don't say a lot. I just read, and then there's a lot of people that I just like amazed the knowledge they have. I'm like, damn, that's so I'm
Yeah.
reading that person, like I'm reading everything I can. They're having a discussion. I'm just soaking it in, like that makes sense. Crap. So,
Yep.
yeah, I've been in 30 years, but here's this gentleman this guy here just spewing out of so much knowledge and no one's picking up on it. I'm like, no one's reading that? No. I was like,
Yeah. I
just
am.
this
I do the same thing. I find like when Don Barr, when he comments, I
oh
read everything that dude says. And word for
yeah.
word, I take it in.
Yeah, I
So
got I had a bad day once when he commented and he was completely right, but I was having such a bad day. This was years ago. And I
okay.
got a little rude on him, and then he hit me with some big words. I was like, "Yeah, I'm out of my. I'm sorry, sir." I was like, "That is my bad.
Yep.
I had a bad day." I was like, "This won't happen again." But he is
Yep.
just Don Barr is just amazing with his knowledge. Just so many that I mean, that there's like the guys that come in on that I can't remember his name, but he's like the mixed design. I mean, he's just stupid with mixed designs. I'm just like.
Oh,
Damn,
there's a
this.
few of those guys
Yeah, I
too.
can't think.
Definitely. Yeah.
Is it Tim Blankenship? Is
Tim
it?
Blankenship is big on mixed designs, I believe.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
He's taken some effort summer, but yeah, I love the page. I love the community, and if you can, you're always going to have useless information. And then, people want to be heard. That's cool. It's work. It's work but online. And then you just got, but if you find that one person that answers right, I mean, reach out to them. I mean, that's what I try to tell people. Just
But
reach.
that's part of it too, right? That's on the job site. It's just the same. You got a new laborer coming in, and he's listening to an experienced laborer who's probably finally happy to have somebody to tell kind of what to do. So he's going to be telling him everything, and half of what he's telling him probably may or may not be right. And so
Yeah.
new on the job, you got to be able to pick out the weeds and what's good
Yeah.
fruit.
And that's another thing we help a lot of laborers with raking because it's just such a fast pace. You're dropping 60 grand and it's go, 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 go. And it's like, we got to hand rot something. And I'm like, yeah, you just stepped through my screed. Has anybody told you what that is? And they're like,
Yeah.
no. Okay. Okay. Listen,
Check this
we,
out, man.
yeah, check. This is the
Go.
coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
So we've helped a lot of laborers and we don't try to ridicule anybody because
Yeah.
everyone's there for a paycheck. Everybody just wants to support their families, and a lot of them they have that passion. But if you ruin that, you just lost
Right.
a potentially good guy with the passion. Now that flame is burned out. Now he's working at Home Depot because he got treated like crap. And it's like, and
Yep.
don't get me wrong, when I was younger, it took me. I had a lot of old timers tell me that you need to calm down because one day you're going to be wanting these young guys coming in and you're treating them like jerk like. And I was like, it just clicked. I'm like, wow, damn, that old man's right. I got to start changing my ways here, and then, Dad told me the same thing before he passed away. He's like, you got to relax. He goes, I'm on my deathbed. We all end up right here. So what's
Yep.
the point? Just
Yep.
relax. And I was just, that took me years to process that. And I was like, damn, Dad was right. So I just
How
slowly,
many times have I
slowly,
said that?
yeah, just trying to change my ways, and then life's a lot easier. I don't get too worked up about it. I just whatever. We're only human, but at the end of the day, it's just yeah, just trying to teach the next generation so they can take over, and I don't have to work as hard, physically. I like the mental part as far as training them and teaching them, but that can be challenging as well. So
Oh yeah. Yeah, certainly.
so, but
100%.
yeah, but no, I
Yep.
definitely will see you at the World of Concrete, Rocky, and
Yep.
then
World of Concrete. Then we're gonna hang out again at the Decorative Concrete Expo in
yes,
Miles.
that's I love that. I love going. I got
Yeah.
our work schedule is so crazy, and in the springtime, I always want to go to the VIP the day before. I
Yeah.
every intention to go to this past year, and I just couldn't make it. I'm like, damn, because I love talking to Bobby
So
Denny. I love talking to all them guys, Gaetano,
yeah.
all those guys,
Yep.
good guys,
Yep. I
man,
think
great guys.
Ryan Thomas will be there again. Rick Thomas, some of those guys too. So that'd be cool too. So
Oh, those guys, yeah. I met Ryan the
yep.
first time I went, and that was cool because he actually recognized me. And oh man, I was like, this guy here, he recognized me. I was like,
Yeah. So
yeah,
I actually got to go out and hang out with him for a day, and I got to pour with them guys, put them mud boots on, and they treated me just like one of the crew. It was
nice.
great.
That's
I wore my
awesome.
GoPro, and so it'll be releasing on his channel real soon. I'm going to say in the next couple of weeks, and
I have
our
to keep an eye
version
on.
will be on Deco Creek TV. So it's going to be kind of cool.
Nice. That's awesome. No,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
do some. I love his. He just
Yeah.
has that niche. I mean, he's a good speaker. He just it's fun to watch. I mean, it's because it's
Yep.
like it's normal every day. It comes out like it's
Yep.
like he forgets. Sometimes I think he forgets he has the GoPro on. You know
Well,
what I
he
mean? He
said,
just
I kind of talked to him about that, and he said he wants, the average person that's watching it, that's not a concrete guy, they just want to feel like they're part of the crew.
yeah,
So he said some of that stuff makes it through because that's what would be in the crew anyway. And
yeah.
something, the videos don't portray how good of a dude he actually is to his
Oh,
guys. He's got a bunch of dudes that mess up regularly, right? Like any crew. And
yeah.
a lot of the stuff that only makes it on film is when he's really coming down on them. But man, he loves those guys, and that's an awesome crew to hang out with.
Yeah, and that's part of it's just part of it's tough love. I mean, it's just
Yeah,
the way it is. You have to,
yeah,
and he treats them right, and he expects his expectations are high of them. You know what I mean?
right,
He wants
right,
them to do good, and sometimes it comes off like, well, this guy's being a jerk to his crew. Well, no, he's just
yeah,
his expectation. That's how we are with our guys. We get on them,
yeah,
and they just and people, man, you're hard on him. I said, well, no, I want him to be better than us. I want him to be up here. I don't want him to be mediocre. I'm not going to go. It's okay, little buddy. It'll get no. Why didn't you do that? you know, you got to use your brain. Come on, bud.
Yep.
You better than this. Push him, you know,
Yep.
and that's
Can't
how
coddle.
Ryan
There's no
is.
coddling in concrete.
No, no, no. It's like you talk to them, you tell them, and then you just push them. Just and then next you know, just they retain it. They do better next time. But no,
Yep.
Ryan has a nice channel. He has a nice channel, and he does a nice and did beautiful work. I mean, I
Yep.
enjoyed the
He took me
conversation.
to his shop and showed me around his new shop and his
Oh
weight
my gosh,
room. And oh my
it's
goodness, I was like, as soon as I pulled in, I'm like, this is nice. So and
he's
he built it from nothing. So it
yeah.
makes it even better.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just gonna say. I mean, he started from humbling's beginnings, and then next thing you know, he's made it into that, and that's just so
Yep.
cool, so cool.
Yeah.
And that's just like I kind of that's how I feel because yeah, I'm not even as big as Ryan, but it's like I
Right.
started out just making some videos here and there, and then all of a sudden people start messaging me, and I'm like, there's it just it took me a while to understand why is this guy asking me all these questions, and then my wife's like,
Yeah.
well, honey, you have a lot of information in that head. I'm like, oh, I was like, okay, let me answer them, so it's
Yep.
cool,
Yep.
because it just I never thought it'd be like this, like next in a couple weeks we're flying out to Arkansas to visit. We got invited down to Allen to go down there and talk to them in Arkansas.
Really?
Yeah, so me and my two brothers are flying down and then hanging out with them for 3 days, and
What is it? Like you just gonna
just
do a tour of the plant
yeah,
or
just a tour of the plant, have a conversation because they let me demo that one machine with a plow handle, Allen's
yeah,
plow handle. So I
yeah,
demoed
yeah.
that for them, and then just talked to them about it, and then we got invited to come down there, and I wasn't passing that up. I'm like, oh yeah, we'll come
How
down,
cool.
and I never would have thought in a million years that Alan would invite us to come down to hang out and talk to him, and it's just so cool because it's like they asked us some questions about what we like about Allen's, what we like to see different, and we had a lot of ideas, and they're like, oh,
Right.
why don't you come down and hang out? We can talk about it. I was like, oh yeah, we'll be there. I didn't even, I was like,
Okay.
yeah, all the way home. I'm like, oh, I didn't even ask my wife. Shit, I gotta set up I gotta
I
set
would
up a
have done the
PowerPoint.
same thing.
Yeah, I gotta set up a PowerPoint. Okay, honey, here's to
Yeah.
the board, to the whiteboard. She's
I'm
looking at me
glad
like,
I'm not the only one.
yeah. I'm like, shit. I was so excited. I hung up the phone, and then it just hit me. I'm like, oh shit. I was like,
Oh.
uh, hey,
So, honey,
how's your day, babe? How's your day? You have a good day? I got dinner made. She's just like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, no, it's your favorite. So no, of course she's so supportive. She's like, oh man, be careful. I can't. That's exciting, and
yeah,
and that's the biggest thing having us. That's what I tell everybody. I'm all over the place. I'm just this is so exciting to just do this, but I
that's
tell
what it's
everybody,
about, man. This is good. This is what it's about. You let it out. This
and that's I always
because
tell.
what you're showing with the life of a concrete guy, especially some of these new guys,
Yeah,
and the roads it takes to get here. So
it
carry
takes
on, my friend.
it takes a special woman to be married to a concrete guy.
And my wife
Especially,
will agree 100%. So we need to hook our wives up and whatever because my wife wants to start a group called Concrete Wives,
oh my gosh,
and
yeah.
it would just be all of our wives,
It-
talking about the good things, the bad things, how to keep your washer and dryer working, things,
yeah,
how to
from
keep
all the
concrete out of the carpet, this kind of
oh yeah,
thing.
always. I mean, we've been this will be our 29th year married, um, together 32 years, and it was hard because her family never they weren't they're factory workers. Nobody
Yep.
worked in the construction. All of a sudden, when I first got into to the union, I was working these big jobs, and well, he's working 18 hours, and her family's like, well, that you can't do that, and I'm like, well, I'm still here. I mean, I don't, this is so. It was really a shocker to her, but over the years, she's helped me on side work, take me to side job, help me strip some forms, and you know, load equipment and stuff like that, and she rolls with it now. She just understands that summer times
Yep.
it's dark to dark, and then wintertime now that we have more inside work, it's dark to dark, and
Yep.
yeah, so I
Sometimes
got it.
dark
Yeah,
to daylight. From my experience, show up dark and you get to watch the sunrise sometimes.
yes, and that's that
Yep.
was
Yep.
that's usually the wintertime, and then because
Yep.
because lack of, we don't, a lot of people was like, when we worked on the road, we would shift, you know, you have two crews, but unfortunately around here, we don't do that because of the lack of help. And, so it'd be the same crew, you know,
Mhm.
you just,
Yep.
but yeah, it's so cool because the camaraderie, you like our crew, we've lost a couple guys from either quitting and getting different jobs. And it's crazy how much you miss them. It's
Yeah.
like, man, oh man, it's like a family. You pour a big building and you're working all these hours. You're talking to these guys, hanging with these guys that particular more than your wife in that month or six
Yep.
months, and it's like you eat together. Hell, you're leaning against each other on the column, sleeping and talking to each other, and you're waking up,
Yep.
getting back on a ride. It's
Yep.
you know, it's people. A lot of people don't understand that the camaraderie that you can build, and it's. I had a friend of
It's
my
very
guy that,
similar to the military brotherhood because I
yeah,
mean it's essentially you're in battle against the gray gold together, and we're
yes,
going to stay here until it's done.
yeah, and that's what I was just gonna say.
Yep.
My buddy that Chris, the one I was teaching how to trow, he was in the army, and he told us, he goes, "This is the closest thing I've ever experienced close to the army," and it's. He said it helped me so much because he had
Yeah.
a lot of thoughts that were bugging him, and he loved it, you know. And unfortunately he went a
Yeah.
different direction, but it helped him through that period of time. He goes, it was,
Yep.
and we still talk. And it's crazy because I talk to these guys, they're like, my one guy I trained, he's like, "You're as old as my dad, and I consider you almost like a best friend. How is it that I can go to work and hang with a 50-year-old?" And yeah, and you're like, you know, I say, "Yeah, my son's right next to you." I said, "We can all sit here
Yep.
and we talk and we laugh." And he goes, "It's just I never would have thought one of my good friends is 50." I was like, I
Yep.
don't know. It's like, here we are,
That's concrete though, right?
and
That's
that's it,
concrete.
and that's
So
it.
what are you
That's
guys
concrete.
eating on a long tour like that? Are you packing prepared for that? You got,
Yeah,
7 sandwiches ready to go for the day,
I
or
I
you
get.
guys order pizza?
But generally, everyone's usually starting. Me personally, I do a lot of tuna, crackers. Just
Yeah.
try to eat like more vegetables, fruits. I'll throw it in there. But once that's gone, I feel like I ate healthy that day, and then I say, man, let's get some pizza. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I need more calories to get through the day.
Yep.
So, and
Yep.
then you generally, well, now these young guys, they do, what is it? What is that? DoorDash or food,
Yeah.
whatever it's
Yep.
called.
DoorDash. Yeah.
They'll. I'm like, I see some headlights coming on the job site. Oh, that's the DoorDash guy. I'm gonna get my foot. I'm like, what? Here they come with a pizza, and I'm like, what the hell? They're like, yeah, we don't leave the job
We're in the
site.
middle of nowhere.
Yeah, they're bringing it to us, Dad. I'm like, okay. I mean, they do
All
it all the
right.
time. Now I'm like, whatever, man, because we're working. They're like, Dad, we got time to eat. I'm like, we can't go anywhere. And I was like, well, yeah, you can order some food if you want. They're like, yeah, we're gonna order something. We got us younger guys, we're gonna buy you and Dad, you and Uncle Bert some stuff. Yeah, we'll get us whatever. So yeah,
Yeah.
the long days they buy, and then everyone usually that's what we try to pack. I do miss
Yep.
working in the South though. I do miss working in the South because when I worked in the South, they would grill out all the time on the side of on the side of the slab. Oh gosh,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, you're like I smell like
Yep.
some fajitas cooking. I'm like, oh hell no, they're cooked. Oh, my man, I said, you
So
hungry?
I've
Hell
done a
yeah.
lot of pole barn floors, and a lot of the pole barns in my area are built by the Amish. I'm sure Ohio is similar.
Yeah.
But the Amish are that way too. They'll bring the grill, and everybody on site, if they got the grill out, you're eating. So I always
Oh,
enjoyed that part. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, no, that
yeah,
part is nice. Home cooked meal is nice, but sadly, we work in these bigger areas, the bigger cities. They,
yeah.
it's their structure. They freak out if they see a grill on the side of the slab
Oh
in a
man.
2 million. So we generally just DoorDash or we'll send
Yeah,
the youngest apprentice. It's like you need a break. Yeah, boss. Good. Go get us. Here's a list. I'm gonna text
yeah,
you a list. Go
yeah,
to the gas
yeah.
station. They're like, damn. All right. So
No,
and
that
yeah,
ain't the break I was looking for.
yeah, that's not the break I was looking for. I was kind of looking at,
Yeah,
you know what? Get some fresh air, get in your car, drive down there, and you to be careful and come back. They're like, okay.
yeah,
So here's an extra 10. Buy something for you. They're like, okay.
yeah,
So for us, gone are the days that back in when I was an apprentice, all those old timers, we call them you. Let's go get some pork chops, and
yeah,
I never know. I thought I was like, we get to the bar. I'm like, man, where's the pork chops at? It's
yeah.
in the can. It's in the can. I'm like, oh, it's in the. Oh,
Oh,
oh.
okay.
Got it. Got it. Got it. But yeah, we don't do the pork chops much, not at all anymore on the job sites because
Yep. Yep.
they're just different times. But the bigger projects you can't. But I remember those good old days, man. Them good old days, them old boys. My gosh.
That's how I grew up on the job site. My grandfather was a finisher. My dad, I remember going to the cooler and it was full of Budweiser and full of Yoo-Hoo. Yoo-Hoo and
That's
Budweiser. So it was
and that was
pork
and
chops
it's
and
like,
chocolate milk.
yeah, and you're just like, well, I'm gonna grab a chocolate milk. Okay, so,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. Some
I
chocolate milk.
remember, yeah, I remember same thing being 20 years old because I got in when I was 18. When I was 20, go walking in and then to be 15 of us and the barmaid, the bartender's like, I need an ID from you, and they're like, they distract her and they're like shoving me a beer. Just drink this quick. I'm, okay, just
Okay.
drink it quick, and then you go back. You got to wipe a floor out because back then we would wipe a lot of floors up by hand. The
Yeah.
last time over, and it's just like I'd fall off my sliders. They just there laugh at you, and I'm like, this is not normal. This is, but it turned out it was normal. So
Yeah. Oh, okay. This is how concrete's done now.
yeah, and
Yep.
then you tell those
Definitely.
stories nowadays. The kids just look at you like, what? I'm like, yeah, well,
Really?
it was a
Really?
different time, bud. They're like, I couldn't even imagine that. I'm like, yeah, well, yeah.
Yep.
It
It was
was a
different
different
times.
time.
It's changed a lot in a short amount of time.
It has, and and
Yep.
it's a lot of it's for the better. It's for safety, and I get,
Oh,
but
sure.
on the side jobs, and a lot of us don't drink anymore because some of us can't handle, this for the better. They don't drink, and
Yep.
so a lot of times we're just usually eating more than anything. We're just gaining
Get
pounds. Yeah,
give me some
homeowner.
snack cakes.
Yeah, the homeowner's like, "Hey, you want beer?" No, but we're hungry. Oh, we'll get some. We'll get the grill going. Okay, cool. So we eat
Yeah.
more than, yeah, we eat more than anything. But no,
Yep.
it's fun. But no,
Yep.
it's been a hell of a ride. I enjoy it. It's met a lot of people, traveled all over the country with Baker, and
Yeah.
a company out of A-Haul out of St. Louis before they went under, company in Iowa before they went under. We traveled, did a lot of Menards, and just to
Okay.
meet the people that we met and still have a connection with them on Facebook. I'm friends with a lot of guys still. It's cool. So it's
Yep.
and that's
It's
to go
definitely a
back.
big family. Once a finisher, always a finisher, no matter what you do for work afterward.
Yeah, and it's fun because the mentors I had, I still talk to one of them, and who taught me how to. It's funny is at different stages of your career, you'll have different mentors. Like I had a
Yeah.
two mentors when I first started. They broke me in. We hand rotted everything. We crawled everything, so they taught me that part of it. And then when I got into the machining and traveling, I had two good mentors that taught me how to machine and why you machine and why you do this, and then and then it's just
Now, do you
that's
feel that having that the hands-on touching the rod and having the trowel has helped you in moving on to being just a machine finisher?
Yes. We won't. Yeah, I feel that. That's how I feel that there's levels to it. You got to crawl before you walk. You got to walk
Yeah.
before you ride. And we sometimes there's been rare occasions that we skipped a step because of lack of options. Like
Sure.
one of the guys, I shouldn't say kid, one of the guys I mentored, he went from crawling and he went right to riding, and now but then what was bad though is once we got off the rider, he had trouble walking because his timing was so off because he was used to this, you
The
know,
heavy machine.
1,500 pound machine. All of a sudden, you got we got to haze this in, take it down tight
Right.
with his 3-footer, and he's like, "What the?" He had a hard, and it sounds crazy, but he had a hell of a time. He's like, "My timing is so off." I'm like, "Well, you're walking, you're not,
Yep.
So we try to teach him that and show him because so much is happening on the rider that we feel that if you learn cutting edges in, knowing what you're looking at and why you're doing it, it what we're trying to teach them, you can get plugged into any company, big company in our area, anywhere in the United
Yeah.
States, and you'll fit in. There are a couple of things that people do different, but for the most part, you'll adjust, and that's the goal. And so yeah,
Yep.
we teach them how to hit edges, how to straight edge. Straight edging is the biggest thing we teach. Got to have a foundation. If you don't respect the straight edge, you don't respect the troweling. You think you're just better than that. I don't feel you're gonna. That's my opinion. You're not gonna make it because
Right.
you're not going to gain the respect from everybody else around you because it's all about respect. You know how concrete guys are. They're all about
Yep.
you know, show me what you know, and I still do it now. I mean, I've had a couple years ago. We had a couple young guys. They're like, "Well, all you doing is talking." I'm like, "Okay, get on the straight edge. Let's." And then when don't get me wrong. When I come home, I'm like, "Oh dear Lord, why did I do that?" Honey, give me. I thank you for the dinner. Can I
Oh,
have four Tylenol, please, please?
yeah.
But you but
Yep.
you gain that respect and you show them, you lead by example, and
Mhm.
and I won't tell anyone to do anything that I wouldn't do. And
Mhm.
that's where we I think the old regime that left, the guys really disliked them because they were the opposite. They would just
Yeah.
bark, 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 talk a big game, but then would just abandon the crew, and they would, it was just there was no leadership. And when we took over, our boss, the new boss, came in and he's like, he saw what was happening. Treats us very good, smart, and he just said, "Listen, can you help me teach these young guys? Because right now I'm not liking the future. It's not looking like anything." And I'm like, "Well, we'll help you." And we
Mhm.
tried to change. The big thing was the mindset that no one's
Yep.
better than anybody. We're here to help work together, and it's not a perfect world. Guys get in arguments, but you just, there's no fists yet, just arguments. So, and
Yeah.
we're good
Yep.
with
Yep.
that. We're good with it. It's like,
Like I
let
said,
it out,
after
do it.
sleeping a cup of coffee, guys are different.
Yeah. Oh, and me,
Yeah.
and hey, it's funny you say that because they all know in the mornings. Don't talk to me if you come up to me and say, "Hey, good morning, David," and I say morning, and I keep walking. Just give me an hour. Just give me an hour. Let me eat. Let
Yep.
me figure out what's going on for the day. And then I was like, today the kid was just like, he's a great kid, but he's just, "Hey, good morning, Dave." I was like, "Morning." I worked. I drove 2 hours to work yesterday. Put in 15 hours. Drove 2 hours back. Got some sleep. Woke up. Got to work. Got stuck by a train. Got stuck behind semis. I made it to work. Barely made it to work. And I'm getting on this kid's full of energy. I'm like,
Yeah.
21 years old. I'm like, oh dear Lord, he means well.
Um,
Lord,
yep.
give me strength. He means well. So
Yeah.
I'm like, give me strength. So he's like, good morning, Dave. Hey, good morning. And then he's right here talking to me. I'm like, I'm sending him on errands. Hey, go get that over there. And my
Yep.
buddy who's the
Yep.
labor at the job, he's just laughing. He goes, he means well, Dave. I said, I know. I'm just tired. He's like, hey, I got some, drink. Go get some coffee in the trailer. I'm like, I'm just got to drink some water. I just drank some water, a little bit of, I sipped on a little Dr Pepper, and I'm like, by 9 o'clock we're talking. I'm showing him how to figure out concrete because I have the formula I use for figuring up concrete is not meant. They don't teach that to the kids,
Right.
And I was showing them. He's like, well, "How'd you figure that?" I'm like, "Okay, length times width times depth divided by 324." Showing him all that, and
Yep.
he's
Yep.
writing it down. He's writing it all down. I'm saying, "Good, you're writing it down. Take a picture of it that way." So then it was fun to show him that because he was all like, "Man,
Yeah.
I appreciate it, Dave." I'm like, "You're welcome." I said, "It works for anything. You just gotta be, gotta do this, gotta do that." And but yeah, but that first 2 hours though, whoo, I was like,
Leave me alone. Let me get my bearings.
yeah. So especially
Yep.
when on the big pours, we're pouring 2 million square feet like every other day, long
Wow.
hours. The kids won't. They won't. They'll just like they just look at. By the middle of the floor, no one's talking the first 2 hours. You're just putting your boots
Yeah.
on. You're just hitting the edges. You're vibrating edges. No one's talking, and usually by like after the first bay, it's guys. You guys thirsty? After the third bay, I'm gonna go get some breakfast. Fourth bay, we're laughing.
Yep.
Everybody's up and going. You're like, okay, I'm here. Everybody, okay, let's get this day over with. And it's wash, rinse, repeat. You're like, don't talk to me.
Yep.
But they all know that it's like it's.
Yeah.
I always tell them. I said, you'll see when you get older. It's harder to get up in the morning. It's just
Yep.
yeah. I used to jump out of
Yep.
bed, concrete. Yeah. Now I just it's a deep breath. It's like it's a stretch. I stretch out every morning. It's like
Yeah.
it's a process. It's like the
Yeah.
kids like
And that
you get up.
process takes a little time.
Yeah, that kid today.
Yep.
You get up and stretch. I'm like. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't get up and run to the bathroom. I get up. I do touch the toes, touch the ceiling. I do a twist. I go, okay, make sure my shoulders still work, and I walk to the bathroom. He's like,
Yep.
oh.
Yep.
So, yeah, I said,
I've heard that stretching thing. Somebody I brought up the analogy, well, a lion doesn't stretch before it runs to get its prey. And I've always said, well, the old lion doesn't even run to get its prey. It lets the stupid young ones go get it, and then it goes and takes it from them.
That's
So,
that's pretty much that's it.
yeah.
That's exactly right. I was swinging a sledge. We're setting forms after we poured, and I had a little 8 pound, a 6 pound sledge. And I'm just, the ground wasn't hard, but I was just. He's like, "Hey, do you want a bigger sledge?" I'm like, "No, you're young and strong." I said, "You're doing so good." I said, "Your 4 pins to my one is great." I said, "Just keep going. You're doing great." I'm putting my pin in. I'm helping the guy set it great, and he's like, we're doing a big radius. We got it all set up. I'm like, keep going, buddy. You're doing great. He's like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I was like, and we're just sitting there like, to be young again. Youth is a powerful thing. You're doing great,
Yep.
So,
For sure.
but at the
For
same time, I
sure.
mean, you trade that off with knowledge, and they're tickled to death because it's not like you're just making them do all the work. You're giving them knowledge, and they're thankful for it, and
Yep.
you're not taking advantage of them. You're just trading. Like I'm going to
Yep.
give you knowledge for your youth and your back, and
Yeah.
I'll keep
That's
giving you a
good.
little bit more
I'd never
knowledge.
thought of it that way, but that's a great analogy. I like that.
Yeah, and they're like, cool, fair enough. And
Oh,
we do.
yeah.
We help them out, and yeah, just trying to to get them to understand that it's process is the hardest because
Yep.
they're so used to these. They grab a phone, they push the button, it comes up, and it's like,
Yeah.
I can't get this. Well, it's your first time ever doing it, buddy. You're not gonna. If you get it, great. I mean, it's awesome, but more
Yeah.
than likely, it's not gonna happen. And they're
Yep.
like, well, you're just floating through this. I'm trying to mimic you, and it's not working. I'm like, see these hands? This is 30 plus years. You have
Yeah.
3 months. I said it
Yep.
takes time. So that's the hardest
Yep.
part is the frustration with them because, and if we just tell them, look, man, if you can do 10 feet right, that's less. That's 10 feet less that we have to do. So focus on your technique. Focus on the 10 feet that you're going to do. No one's yelling at you. Now, if you stop and drinking water while I'm working or just disappear because you might get barked at. I said, but we're going to ask you,
That's
what are you
a different
doing?
story.
Yeah. I said, but if you're right there trying and giving it everything you got, dude, that's awesome. Just give me
Yep.
everything you got. That way when you're tired, we're all tired and you understand you'll learn to respect the concrete in the trade instead of you thinking you're a tough guy.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's come a long ways. He's getting better, but he's 21. He thinks he's strong, and he is strong. But he was. I kept telling him, wait for the machine, let the machine butter that edge up, and then follow the machine.
Yeah.
So it was only 20,000. He's just hitting all these edges, and I'm looking at him, and we're all looking at him like, lads, like let him go, let him go.
You'll
End of the
learn.
day, yeah. End of the day, he comes up to me with his hands like this. He's like, can I go home? Can I be first cut? I'm like, you all right? Man, my hands hurt. I'm like, well, that's good. I said, you got to build calluses. You got to get blisters. You got to build calluses. I said, but you got to work smarter, not harder. I said, I have this other young guy across the way here. He's waiting for the machine. He cleans the edge. He hits the edge, and you're killing
Yep.
yourself. And then the next pour, he was just like watching the machine, like, okay, I'm gonna hit this edge. And then he was like, oh, that was so much easier. I'm like, attaboy. I said,
Yeah.
attaboy. So no, it's
Yep.
fun to watch
Yep.
him grow. It really is
Sure.
fun, and
Yep.
that's why I enjoy it. And that's for the longest time I didn't think I never thought I'd be a teacher, mentor. I never thought in a million years I would be. I had it was hard for me to explain things. And it still is sometimes. Sometimes I just got to show them, then they're like, oh, that's what
Sure.
you mean. But
Yep.
if I could go back 20 years and say, hey, one day next in 20 years you're gonna be talking to the guys and teaching them, I would have been like, you're crazy. You're crazy. And
Well,
then
you
here
still
I
got
am.
business here on this earth. So, because
Yeah. So
my old man would always say, if you're not learning something or teaching what you've learned, you got no business being here.
and
And
that's
it kind of always stuck with me. And now that you're exactly that model, you've learned it and now you're passing it on. And that's what it's about.
you're right. It truly is because and that's what I enjoy. I really enjoy it. It's fun. Some days are better than others, but we're human. I mean, if
Yeah.
the only one that was perfect. He isn't on this earth anymore. He'll be back, but you know, right now he's not here. So, but all we
Yep.
can do is the best we can do, and just try to treat each other right. And that's what I always
Exactly.
I stick with that. Listen to the tone. I'll bark at
Yep.
you all day, but I will circle back And I actually barked at one of the kid that video you put on the showing that I was going to be on live. That young man running the polys, good kid, trained him
Yeah,
from
yeah,
trained him, and he couldn't process what I was trying to tell him, and I had a moment of weakness, and I barked, I yelled at him, and
yeah,
and I felt bad, and I circled back probably about half an hour, maybe an hour later. We got the pour in, and I said, Corey, and he's like, yeah. I said, I apologize for yelling at you. No, he goes, it's okay. I said, no, I can yell at you in front of everybody. I can apologize in front of everybody. It's no shame to me. I had a
yeah.
moment of weakness. I still have to learn that not everybody can process what I'm processing. I'm 3 steps. I may be 3 steps ahead of you, and you're still processing the first step. I,
Right.
even though you've been doing it, and he goes, oh, I appreciate it, Dave. He goes, I think I was processing it different. I said, well, yeah, that's fine. I said, but I'm talking for myself. I'm not trying to talk down. I'm speaking about me. I have to relax and understand that you're, I'm 3 steps ahead of you, and do this,
Yeah.
do that, and you're like, okay, I'll get to it. And I'm like, why aren't you done? And it's like, shit.
Yeah.
Okay, it's he's getting there, David. And a lot of times
Yeah.
you'll see me talking to myself, like, calm down, David. He's getting there. He's getting
Yeah.
there. And he does. He
Yep.
does a great job.
Yep.
Smart kid, and he's a foreman, a young foreman. He does a great job. But when he gets around me and my brother Albert, he kind of will get a little nervous, and it's like,
Sure.
we're here to assist you. We're not here to tell you what to do. We're here to assist you and help you. And that job I was running, yeah, it was a bad moment. It was a moment of weakness. But
Yeah.
I always try to remember good people that told me things like that. That was one of them. If you can yell at somebody and you feel really bad about it, don't be afraid to apologize in front of everybody,
Sure.
because you can't embarrass them. In a sense, I embarrassed them. And don't
Of
be
course. Of
circle
course.
back and say, hey, look, I'm not going to pull you to the side, because why? Just because I'm embarrassed and to say I'm humble. We're human. we're
Yep.
I'm sorry, and then it was great. And we finished the day. We started laughing and joking, and yeah. So, but other than that, it was
I
it's
like
fun.
that. That's something that I will carry with me personally. Is if I could yell at you in front of everybody, I can apologize to you in front of everybody the
Yeah,
same.
and
I'll take that with me. That's good.
yeah, because it helped. It really shows them that, man. I feel it shows them that I do care about you. I want you to do
Yeah.
good. And I tell them all. I hold you guys at a higher expectation, because you guys are good. You guys are good
Yep.
hands. You're going to be even better. I want you guys to be better. So
Yep.
that's the biggest thing, because I've worked with some bad crews, some bad bosses, and I tell all of them, I want you guys to be not a boss. I want you guys to be a leader. Anybody
Yep.
can be a boss. Anybody can be a timekeeper. I said, but I want you to be a leader. And that's the biggest thing that I've tried to do, and my brother tried to do. My brother's very, very, he's so good with words that it'll be like an hour later, like, wait a minute, he insulted me. That son of a bitch. Where's he at? Hey, Rocky, I'll be panning, and I'll be like, wait a minute. Oh, that son of a bitch. And then I look at him, and he guys does, sometimes he'll do the Forrest Gump wave, like, I'm like, you son of a gosh damn it. Whatever. I was like, whatever. So he's very good at it. So if there's a critical, like a conversation that has to happen, and I'm like, and he's there, I'm like, hey Bert. He's like, yeah, come here. He's like, yeah, can you go talk to those guys over there? He's like, on it. I was like, go talk to him. Yeah, he's like, yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's even watching him change too, because he used to be very hostile, and he's
Yeah.
changed so much. It's fun to be this part of the career with him, and
Yeah.
it's just fun to watch it, because I won't go anywhere without him. Like the World of Concrete, I'm taking my other brother Tom, who used to be in Concrete, but now he got smart and became an electrician. Um, it was too hard on his back and his knees that he had to
Sure.
get out. But uh, I try to go. I don't try to go anywhere without him, either one or the other, because it's just like Alan. I asked him if I can bring them both, because I said we've been in this since the beginning. It's just been us three.
Yeah.
We've been through so many battles, arguments, screaming
Sure.
matches. But then
Yep.
I said I can't do it without them, and they're like, no, bring them. And it's funny. We'd be arguing on a job, and some stranger would be like, try to chime in, and then we turn around and gang up on him, like, who's talking to
Yeah.
you, man? It's like, they're like, well, you're mad at that's I'm mad at him. not you.
Yeah, you can't be
You,
mad at him.
yeah, you can shut the hell up because I'm. They're like, oh, I said,
Yeah,
yeah, and then they leave, and I'm back at him looking at him like, and you can just go over there.
yep,
But
yep.
I love them, and it's fun. It's been a fun journey with with both of them, and yeah, so it's I can't wait to go. I can't wait to go down to Arkansas because yeah, it's been and yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
I'll be excited to hear about that. You got to keep me updated.
Oh yeah, oh
So I
yeah.
didn't
I just
realize they were in Arkansas. I'm actually going to be down that way in a couple of weeks, so I might see
yeah
if I can get a tour.
October 13th, 14th, and 15th. We'll be down there. We're flying in on the 13th, and then we'll be there all day 14th, and then we'll fly out 15th. So
Oh,
yeah, we
nice.
can't wait. We can't wait. Just
Yeah,
to see the equipment. I'm it's it's concrete. It's a trial machine.
yeah,
Yeah. So I love the buggies. I love all of it. And yeah.
yeah.
So it's gonna be fun to see and take pictures.
You're
I
a
got my
concrete guy. It's
camera and
like it's just as exciting going to the Corvette Museum. It's like
yeah.
it's cool. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
I love the trials. I love the plow handles, like the
yeah,
borings. Like this past
yep,
road of concrete, I hung out at the boring booth. Because I just love the borings. That plow handle
yeah,
is just it's a great machine. It's
yep.
not for everybody. That's why I tell
Sure.
people there's no gray area. You either like it or you don't.
Right.
When I ran with Baker, that time I ran with Baker, they had Superiors, and I just fell in love with them because of the power and what it can do. And it's just like,
Yep.
wow. And then talking
Yeah.
to Scott Brenning about it, like, oh, and finding out he made them, that was like amazing. And then
Yep.
talking to Tamara over at Boren, over at the World of Concrete, and then Flacco and them guys, it was just so much fun just to listen to them talk. And it's just like,
Yeah.
this is great. This is what it's about. This is what's the
Yep.
coolest thing ever. And then yeah, so and then been invited to go across seas. I'm a little eerie. I'd love to go across seas. Oh yeah, I've been invited to Australia. Um,
Really?
yeah, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Mexico.
Wow.
I've been invited to a lot of places, but I've I would love to visit Australia. I really would, but I watch the Animal Channel a lot. They have a lot of critters that can kill you. I am terrified of I am not like I am not scared to say I'm scared of spiders. And I remember
I'm the
watching
same. I'm terrified of spiders. Me
yes.
too.
And in Australia their house spider is like bigger than a normal clock, as a standard clock. I was like I remember watching Steve Irwin on yeah, the
Urban.
guy from yeah. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
loved watching his show and he started talking about house spiders and I'm like, I'm thinking that little bitty, this thing was like this. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna scratch that off my list. I'm done. Yeah, no, yeah, but yeah, I've been invited a couple of times to go to Australia and then Ireland. I always wanted to go to Ireland. I love that, just the history. I'm a big love
Yeah.
history, and I always want. But yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I just be in the way because a lot of these guys are great finishers. They got great crews. It's like you guys do a little different, but I would just want to watch.
Right.
That's all. I just
Right.
want to go take some pictures, do some videos, watch them, and and then if they have questions, answer it. But
Yeah.
the wife's always like, let's just you just stay here. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But
That's a pretty big endeavor hopping across the ocean like that.
that's what she's like. You're not going across. No, no. I'm like, okay. I text them back. Oh, sorry guys, schedule conflict. Can't go. Sounds better than my
Yep.
wife won't let me go. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but
Exactly.
no, but it's been
Cool.
fun, and I thank you for allowing me to come on here with you, bud.
My
Rocky,
pleasure, man. My
this
pleasure. The work
is
you guys are putting out and the videos, it's entertaining. I'm not gonna lie. It's a lot of my evening. I scroll through your stuff. I'm not where you're posting because it's entertaining to especially a finisher because of the work you guys are doing. It's just like, whoa, how are you getting it that nice? And I know, you're doing what you do, obviously. So
yeah,
to
yeah,
us
and
other guys that are doing barn floors, we're
it.
admiring your work, my friend.
I appreciate it. I really do because
Yep.
I like to watch. I just love, like I said, on this page here on the I constantly walking through, like, people post pictures and just beautiful work. Like Gaetano, Fruscardo, them guys, their stamp work.
Yeah.
Oh, second to none. I mean, it's just beautiful
Right.
stuff. And just seeing it in person, when you just look at it like, how in the hell?
Yeah.
It's beautiful work, and they're great people, great family,
Yeah. Awesome
great
people.
family,
Right?
awesome family, and it's fun. We went down and poured with them about maybe 2 months on a Saturday. We went down and poured with them, and we had so
Okay.
much fun just hanging out with them. It was because they're really
Yeah.
only 3 hours from us, and it was just fun to hang out with them and yeah, just laughed and
Yeah.
laughed. And my brother was helping Justin with the pan, and because
Yeah.
I said, Justin, I'm going to bring Albert with me. He's been panning over 30 years, so he's pretty good. So he has but he loves teaching. So
Yeah.
pick his brain. I mean, so my brother's literally
Sure.
walking with him as he's panning, pointing it out, and
Oh,
and
wow.
Justin's just soaking it in. It was so cool to see because by the end of it, it's just clicking, and it's like, man, that's awesome to see. Because then
Yeah.
and then he kept looking back at me because I was sealing, and then my brother Albert said, "Don't worry about him. He'll take care of everything behind. Don't you just worry about panning." I took care of everything else, and then Gaetano gets on and helping. Oh, it was just so much. It was
That's
fun because
awesome.
it's like,
Was there any video? I mean, I've seen some of Justin's pictures and videos, but
yeah,
did anybody give me like
not
linking
really because it was hot that day and we had
Yeah.
pretty crappy service, so we were
Yeah.
trying to get through. We had a couple obstacles and we kind of gave him some pointers what we would
Yeah.
do and how to approach it, and we did. And then service got and then once the serve we got it in, it was like the cartoon where it was like the moon's down, then the sun comes up, and it was
Yeah.
cloudy. Next you know, it was 95. We're like, yeah, we got to go. Let's go.
Yeah.
So it
Yep.
wasn't much of recording. We got a little bit of recording, and I was like, man, I felt bad because I was like, damn, I wanted to record so much more, but it was
Right.
just
Right.
I guess
Showtime.
sometimes my age shows. It's like I live in the moment, and I forget.
Yep.
I got to take a video. Shit, I got to do
Yeah.
a video because there's times where I'll just sit there and like it was happening last week. I was sitting and watch all these young. I'm like, this is freaking cool. These guys are
Yeah.
getting it. And then I get home and oh crap, I didn't get no video. Oh
I
man.
should have videoed that.
So it's really sometimes I live in the moment, and I
Yeah.
my brother was actually like, you're not recording anything today? I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
oh,
And
yeah. Hang on.
let me get my 360 out and I'll do this real quick. But yeah, it's fun to do, and the biggest thing, the hardest thing for me is I don't want to bore people. Oh, it's another floor. So that's why I try to
Sure.
do different angles of like the laser screed or
Yep. Yep.
just
And
different
it is,
things.
you're doing good at it. It's entertaining. I like when you get the slow mo of the blades. That kind of stuff's kind of cool.
Yeah, I try to do that to show
Yeah.
people because a lot of people can't believe I run the poly blades so high, and I
Right.
work my way up to that. And so sometimes I do it to show them, like, hey, I am really doing it. I'm not just saying I'm doing that to screw anybody over. Or mess
Right.
them up. I'm really am running them that high because a lot of people. I used to get messages like, "Where you're running your blades the poly's too high." I'm like, "What? Have you
Look
watched
at
the
my
video?"
work. How can you tell me that?
I'm trying not to be rude. I'm like, okay, but have you seen the video? Because
Right. Yeah. How do
I
you even
mean,
argue with that?
they do.
There is
I get a
no.
lot of. I used to get not as much anymore now that it's been a couple years, but I used to get blown up with messages, and it's like, and I'm trying to be polite, professional, a little humble about it. Listen,
Right.
it's a little different if you've never done it, and try it, and try it one day, see what you think, and adjust.
Yep.
Nope, some guys are just the country guys. They're just stubborn, like we all are, and I've been taught, and this is the way it is, and you just
Right.
kind of like, oh, sounds good. Best of luck to you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep doing what
Yep.
I'm doing, and you do what you
You
do.
want to
Yeah.
learn
So,
though? I'll tell you.
and that's what I try to tell people. I have nothing. I'll do my best to give you all the information I have because if I have nothing to hide, it's concrete. It's if you want
Yeah.
to get better and if you will keep an open mind, and that's what Gaetano. Those guys were like sponges trying to get all the information. It was fun to just talk to them about concrete. Like this is why I do that. This is why I do that, and it was just cool because they're like taking mental notes, like interesting. So because
Yeah.
they want to get better. I mean, it's cool to see. So and then yeah,
Yep.
then we hooked up with Bobby Denny and Chris
Yeah.
Garton in Kentucky, which I don't know if you know Chris Garton.
Yeah.
He
Yep.
oh my God. If you ever want a good steak, have him cook you oh, that was the best steak I've ever had in my life.
Really?
Oh my God. I laughed because I just made a comment on somebody asked a question on this page. What do you feed the guys on the job? And my nephew, who went down with us, who's a hell of a burn guy, goes, steak, have Chris Garton cook you a steak. And I was like, when I took a bite out of that steak, angels came down from the heavens playing harps. I mean, it was the best steak I've ever had. And he cooked it. Rocky, if you would have saw the grill that he used, it looked like he picked it up out of the dumpster, put the wheel back on, put it off, cleaned it up, and I'm like, I'm not the judge. I'm not nobody to judge. I'm like, whatever, dude. I'm here. We're guests. We're gonna eat. We're gonna enjoy ourselves. The man's spending his money to cook his steaks. I'm honored. I'm thankful. I am hungry. I took a bite of that steak. I was like, where in the hell did you get this? Yeah. I was like, be quiet, Angel. I gotta talk to this guy real quick. It was. My brother come around and I come around eating this big old ribeye and I'm like, you gotta go. Blah, 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 blah. He's like, what? I'm like pointing at the steak. He gets caught up paying and he runs around there and he comes back. He goes, oh my gosh. I'm like, yeah. Oh yeah, Chris Garden can cook a steak. And my nephew was just like, we
Yeah.
talked about that. We came when we talked about it for a week. Like, what you gonna have for
Yeah.
dinner? Gonna have a steak. Chris Garden steak? Oh hell no. I'm just gonna do the best I can. I was like,
I bet you. I
no,
bet you.
but Bobby Denny hooked us up on that job, and he's another
Yeah.
good guy. Bobby Denny
Yeah.
is,
I love
I
Bobby.
mean,
He's been on CSYK and he's good dude.
yes, he
He's
is.
got a good story. I like where he comes from, and the dude is, man, his heart's bigger than I think Indiana. So,
Exactly, and you're absolutely right because his backstory. When you learn his backstory, you just
yep,
respect him so much more because it's like this guy has been through it, and for him to smile and have a
yep,
positive attitude and have a heart that he has to help people, it's
yep,
absolutely amazing. And that's why
yep.
if he called, I'd do anything for him. If he calls me and says, "Hey, I'm jammed up in Kentucky," I'd be like, "I'll do my best. Let me make some phone calls. I am gonna be
Yep.
there. You know, can you push the pour back? I'll get there in 4 hours. You know, because he's
Yeah.
such a good guy. He's such a good
Yep.
guy. We didn't even hesitate. I told my brother, hey, Bobby Denny's gonna be in Kentucky. My brother's like, we all going or just you and me? Because I'm when we leaving, what time we leaving? So we're like, this is when we're leaving, and let Bobby know. And we didn't even just discuss pay. We just showed up.
Yeah.
I'm like, Bobby's like, hey, I'm gonna work up a pay. I literally look, oh, you paying us? I was like, oh shit. Oh yeah. Okay, Bob.
Oh,
Bobby looked
okay.
at me like, are you? I would not. I would never make you come down here. I'm like, yeah, I agree with you. I honestly
Okay.
didn't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the steak was payment. I mean, I was just eating. I was like, but that's how good of a guy he is. He asked, hey, can you
Yeah.
guys? I'm like, absolutely, man. Let's do
Yep.
it. I mean, and then yeah, we didn't even. Yeah, it was such a good time, and it was fun. It was fun to see everybody and meet people. And
We never did figure out your video, did we? I don't
no,
think.
no. The
Well.
thing of it is, I could see you. I could see you,
Oh.
and
Okay.
and 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 some people have texted me so they can see me. So
Oh, really?
yeah.
Maybe it's
So I
just mine.
guess
It must just be mine then. So if they can see you, then we're golden. I'm not even
yeah.
worried about it. If I
Well,
can see you,
I was gonna
I'll
tell
see
everybody
you at
don't
World
mind
of
the
Cup.
because I have like drywall that's messed. We're not only am I working, I do my side business. We are working on the house remodeling.
Oh
Yes,
man,
it's a challenge. Yeah, it's a challenge. Every
sure.
weekend I'm doing something. I'll clean up a side job, come home. My one cousin comes over, helps me hang some drywall. I feed him, give him some drinks, and then he
Yep.
goes home, and I just sit here and go, okay, what else can I do?
Yep.
It's
I've been there,
nonstop.
man. I've been through that. But no idle hands that way, right? You can't get in trouble as long as you
Yeah.
stay
Oh,
busy.
it's easier. It's easy. Yes. Yes.
Yep.
I'm here, and yeah. Anymore though, as you get older, I don't want to go anywhere.
Oh, I know it. I just
I
want to
can sit
stay
on
home.
I sit on my recliner. My wife, well, she'll be on her chair, and I'll be on my chair, watch TV, and we send each other
Yeah.
videos, laughing at each other. I'm like, we
Yep.
can talk. We're right here, right? She's like, yeah, but this is more fun. I
We
was like,
do the same, my wife and I.
and it's just funny because
Yep.
we yeah, we poke at fun at
Yep.
other people like you see on TV. Look at them guys, and then we're like, wait a minute, we're doing the same thing. We're like,
Do the
oh shit.
exact same thing. Yep.
Oh man, but
Yeah.
no, it's yeah. So, but
Cool.
no,
Well,
if
hey, man,
anybody,
it's been a real good time. I appreciate you coming on. We'll see
yes,
you at the World of Concrete. We'll see you at the Deco Creed Expo.
yes, If anybody has
And
any
I'm sure
questions,
we'll do this
please.
again. We'll get you back on
Yes.
here again and kind of
If
touch
anybody
base.
has any questions, but by all means, message me. I'll do the best I can to answer. Uh, I will just thank everybody for following me, supporting me, and then as long as everyone keeps liking it, I'll keep doing it. So, but yeah, definitely see you. Definitely see you at the World of Concrete.
I will download this, and I think later on we'll post it on Decocrete TV on our YouTube channel. Have it a little
Awesome,
bit of an edited version, maybe some cool video or something added in here and there. But
awesome. Will do,
we'll
brother.
post that later too. So, but
Awesome.
man, we thank you. We thank you for being a pillar around here, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Have a good night, Rocky. Thank you, guys.
All right,
Thank
Dave.
you.
See you, buddy.
See ya.